Bishop, we've seen videos these past several weeks on the diocesan response to the COVID crisis. I wonder if we might shift to another question related this week. A little bit about Camp Mitchell. I understand that it is going to pause operations on July 5th. Can you tell us what exactly this means?
Okay, as we all know, we've had a pandemic in the United States, and that's affected all sorts of camping activities across the state and at Camp Mitchell as well. A few weeks ago, we had to make the decision that we would not be doing summer camp at Camp Mitchell this year because it would be impossible to get people together for that camping experience. We also then decided that given what's been happening with potential reservations at Camp Mitchell in the future, we need to take a longer pause in operations as well so that we can reevaluate what might be possible at Camp Mitchell. And also, at the same time, we said, let's just take a longer look at the camp and see how its mission might be improved in the future.
Can you tell me more about the history of the camp and how we got to this point?
Camp Mitchell's been an integral part of the Diocese of Arkansas for so many years. We've had generations of people who've been brought up in camping experiences there and adults who've been meeting there for meetings for many years. One of the things that's happened over the last few years we've noticed is that the number of summer campers has declined, and also the number of other people using the camp during the year has declined as well. We think that may be due to the fact that in the case of summer camps, there are other camps in the state that are offering different activities that people might want to participate in the summer. And we're also discovering that people these days are looking for some of the basic amenities and where they're staying overnight that our camp currently isn't providing in sufficient quantity. For example, separate rooms for each individual coming to a meeting. So those things have led to a decline in the financial revenue at the camp, and it's time to figure out if we can do something that's going to make the camp sustainable in the future.
Okay. Can you tell me more about how this decision to pause operations was made? Who was involved in that?
Okay. The first decision to pause operations came as a result of COVID and the governor of Arkansas stating that we needed not to have summer camp activities going on. That was one thing that happened. Separately, we've been thinking for a while about the financial situation at the camp and the number of people who aren't using the camp these days. So at Diocesan Convention, I took that opportunity to explain some of the numbers we have at camp, as in declining revenues and increasing deficits. And I said at Diocesan Convention that I'd appoint a task force to look into the camp to see what needs to be done. Immediately after Diocesan Convention in February, I appointed that task force. The task force interviewed people who've been working with the camp, people who've been attending the camp, had some questions to ask of other camps across the country, and then recently came back with its recommendations that we pause operations for a while until we could decide what the next phase of the camp's life is going to be.
Now, I'm sure there are a lot of people who are interested and anxious to get back to camp, looking forward to reopening. Can you give us an idea of what that might look like and what might be required before that can happen?
I first of all want to say that we do not have a date to reopen the camp. I am guessing that we will take a year or more to decide what needs to happen at the camp. It's going to take a long time to figure out what the camp can be in the future in the life of the Diocese of Arkansas. We discussed this issue at Executive Council this past week. The Executive Council said, okay, for the foreseeable future, let's close all camp operations, not having people come up there on weekends, for example, not doing summer camp, not doing a fall camp, not doing things during the winter, such as clergy conference. That we will gather together some people from across the diocese, perhaps get some consultants in from outside the Diocese of Arkansas, and figure out what we want the camp to be. That's going to take a significant amount of time and effort to do all that work.
Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing what we can do in the future with the camp and what we can do for all sorts of Christian formation throughout the state.